miles per hour. The R296 Chevrolet Camaro at the Hardy Boys lane. $6.55 for the Hardy Boys lane, 106.13, a 698. Ed Hamlin, the Cardinal Express, the 2682 Chevrolet Corvette. Going to get Benny Denson, the little Phantom Roadster, 450, coming out of the Barnett lane. $5.97 for the Hardy Boys lane, 115.38 to $7.57 for the Barnett lane. Brad Waddy, the 2487 Chevrolet Corvette out of the Barnett lane. $6.42 for the Barnett lane Brad Waddy, 107.39 miles per hour. $7.14 for the Hardy Boys. $15.78, Johnny Boyd, the McCrory Racing Chevrolet Chevelle, my 1989 Sportsman Track champion, going against Richard McCrory, the 1989 Division II High School champion, coming out of the Barnett lane. $9.07 for the Hardy Boys lane, 75.12 miles per hour. $10.26 for the Barnett. $6.59 for Bobby Cole, 104.40 to an 8.21 for Tim Adams, 84.11 miles per hour. $3.09 Robert Griffin, going to get 8.07 Alan Hilton. $6.60 for Alan Hilton, the Barnett lane, 103.44 miles per hour. A $6.89 for Reyes Welding 62 Impala coming out of the Hardy Boys lane. Going against Billy Reynolds, the 2114 Chevrolet Vega coming out of the Barnett lane. 691 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 100.22 miles per hour, 732 for Billy. 654, Steve Dowdy, 106.13, 70. Stanley Elrod, 71.75 miles per hour. 2742, Mike Cobb, the Chevy Corvette, this will be one of the cars in the Fast 8. Shakedown running. Randall Ingram, the 2652 Camaro coming out of the Barnett lane. 586 for Mike Cobb, 104.4 on a shutdown run. 641 for the Barnett Lane, Randall Ingram, 108.17. Pete Ritter Roadster going to get 2629, Ricky Jones. Again, having problems with this little Beretta, and Pete has been nice enough to drive in this competition. To keep on the point going. 605 run for Ricky Jones. He left a little early. You could hear him hesitate on the throttle there. The car normally runs in the 590 range, 113.63, and you can tell the difference in the ET is his little footlet. Tommy Griffin in there, 689 ET, 97.40 miles per hour. And that was great for Bobby Taylor, 89.48 miles per hour. 252, Larry Rutledge. Currently running 10th in Super Pro points. 2798 Grady Robinson. Parent Chevrolet Camaro is coming to the line. .77 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 101.58 to a 719 for the Barnett Lane Grady. 9 o'clock we shut ticket sales off and have a drawing around 9:30. Give half the money to the lucky ticket holder and half goes to the driver's point. Last for the Hardy Boys Lane, Robbie Wilson, 86.20 miles per hour. 453 Chevy Nova, the Hardy Boys Lane going to get 49.80. Nice place to Super Pro point. For the Hardy Boys Lane, 88.06 miles per hour. Big block 1 in the Hardy Boys Lane. Going to get big block 2. They've got 2 cars for a race. Most of the time it's been one car coming up thinking he's going to get a trophy. If you want a trophy, go buy it. You know, it's better off. You're not going to run nobody for it. What's the thrill of saying you want it? 799 for the Barnett Lane, 87.37 miles per hour, a 742 for the Hardy. 758 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 89.64 miles per hour. The 26 Volkswagen Rail, George Brezzi in the Hardy Boys Lane going against Kevin Williamson, the 2949 Volkswagen Rail out of the Barnett Lane. .730 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 93.94 miles per hour, and 820 ET for the Barnett Lane, 80.64 miles per hour lane. Ronnie was there with us last week in his little dragster running 480 and little Town Sports from Beretta. Ronnie gets sponsored by Carcraft Performance Center in Tucker, Georgia. There goes the nice first. Not sure what hill he has in there, but I'm sure he'll go up as the weather cools down. The shakedown run for one of the fast 8 Doorslammers. They will qualify. For Ronnie Davis, 140.18 miles per hour. 945 for the Barnett Lane, 70.42. 3122 Ralph Martin in the Hardy Boys Lane, going to get the 286 on the Barnett Lane. Lane of 597 for Jerry Thompson, 116.27 to a 605 for the Barnett Lane, 113.35 miles per hour. Jones. Weldon in the Hardy Boys Lane. Barnett Lane to 608 to 114.21 miles per hour to a 695 for the... 725 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 96.56 to a 773 for the Barnett Lane, 89.15 miles per hour. 2662, the West Atlanta Fabrication, Randall Ingram. We're going to get 2763 Alan Williams out of the Barnett Lane. .45 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 97.61 miles per hour. 740 for the Barn. Gary Godfrey, long time no see for this young man. He's going to get 2278 Tony Taylor out of the Barnett Lane. 721 for the Barnett Lane, 95.74, 785 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 88.58 miles per hour. 21, Mike Smith in the Hardy Boys Lane. We get Y251, Stanley Elrod out of the Barnett Lane. The Hardy Boys Lane, 119.36 miles per hour. A 702 for the Barnett on line stop in Manchester, Georgia. Robbie Wilson, the Ron Mark, Georgia Mason, the real Sandy's over the Barnett Lane. .716, 94.14 miles per hour for the Barnett Lane. 252 Larry Rutledge going to get 352. Kenny Newberry in the Thrill Seeker car. Hardy Boys Lane at 675 at 101.80 miles per hour, and 801 for the Barnett Lane. 8 Corvette will be running in the fast lane Doorslammers. For Dwayne Howell, 103.68 miles per hour. 2222, Oscar Lubke in the first Oldsmobile 442. Former Wayman Barnett Pro Stock car. We're going to get to 8285. Chevy Nova out of the Barnett Lane. For Oscar Lubke, 120.32 miles per hour, a 774. Hardy Boys Lane going to get 2969. Bill Buddy, Fanning. Oldsmobile Chevrolet out of the Barnett Lane. 113.06 to 689 for the whole nine. 95.13, 833 ET for the Hardy Boys Lane, 82.26 miles per hour. 2603 James Jenkins with the ET65 Chevy Nova. For the Hardy Boys Lane, 94. 2198, Gary Stringer, Chevrolet Camaro. D203, Steve McCrory, Pontiac Trans Am coming at you out of the Barnett Lane. For the Hardy Boys Lane, 97.61 to an 813 for the Hardy Boys Lane. We're going to go against Ricky Wade, the 295 Chevrolet Camaro out of the Barnett Lane. For the Barnett Lane, 112.78 miles per hour to a 654 for the 43 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 107.91 miles per hour, and 830 for the Barnett Lane. 676 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 100.22 miles per hour. 693 for the Barnett Lane, 101.12 miles per hour. 2487 Brad Waddy. Chevrolet Corvette going to get 2645 Bruce Adams. 622 for the Barnett Lane, 111.38 miles per hour. 635 for the Hardy. 637 for Randall Ingram in the Barnett Lane, 108.43, 833 for the Hardy. 601 for the Barnett Lane, 116.27, a 783 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 88.40 miles per hour. 231, John LaBoosh in the Hardy Boys Lane, going against his son, Johnny LaBoosh, the 230 Luke Caboose Plymouth Laser coming out of the Barnett Lane. 650 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 105.88 miles per hour, and 807 for the Barnett Lane, 83.9. 710 for the Hardy Boys lane, 98.68 to 774 for the Barnett lane, Lake Camaro. With 8.17 for the Barnett lane for Gerald Thompson. 304, Ken Sharp. And the Pete Bruner Roadster are going to get the R207, Alan Thomas, Stevie Bacon coming out of the Barnett lane. Hardy Boys lane to 632, 105.38 miles. The David Tatum Racing Chevy Bag out of the Barnett lane. Going to get 2682, Ted Hamlin, the Cardinal Express Chevrolet Corvette in the Hardy Boys lane. The Hardy Boys lane 13.63 to 707 for the Barnett lane, 96.77 miles per hour. 2114, Billy Reynolds, one of the two machines. He run one early this afternoon. The motor didn't sound too good on it. He comes back with this car, and that's all I saw him in all afternoon long since. And he's going to get the 451 dive and go. For the Hardy Boys lane, 96.77 miles per hour. 789 for the Barnett lane, 87.89. miles per hour. 7. Jimmy Black out of Somerville, Georgia. Going against 29.98 contractor's car coming out of Temple, Georgia. Yeah. A 580 for Jimmy Black, 116.27 to 627 for the Barnett lane, 110.5. $651 for the Barnett lane, 106.88 to 764 for the Hardy Boys lane, 88.93 miles per hour. 51 Stanley Elrod in the Hardy Boys lane, Chevrolet Camaro. Going to get Ralph Martin, Ledford, 22 Chevrolet, Vega out of the Barnett lane. 667 for the Barnett Lane, 108.17 to a 699 for the Hardy Boys Lane. 1879, Gary Thompson going to get 8204, David Bragg. Lane of 599, 115.38 mile per hour run for Gary Thompson, a 713 for the Hardy Boys Lane 96. 2662, Randall Ingram, the West Atlanta fabrication car out of Longfield, Georgia. Randall had a little mishap a couple of weeks ago, and the door on the passenger side blew off the car. And it just the clock of 7:28, 97.82 miles per hour. Wagon rail. I'll get it right. The quick stick Volkswagen rail. George Frizzy out of the Barnett Lane. Thanks that I washed my tongue. Can't do a thing with it. It's the reason I got tongue tied there. It happens a lot. Barnett Lane, George Frizzy is 729, 1893.36 miles per hour, 819 for the Hardy Boys Lane. 252 to He won last week out at Atlanta Speed Shop, but they were on every Sunday afternoon. Two of our guys went out there to go to run Milton in the finals. That one got a runner up here on Saturday night. Goes out to the Speed Shop on Sunday and runs against this man, Larry Rutledge, in the final. And he's the prize paid once again. Larry Rutledge won out there, and Albert Hilton was runner-up. Barnett Lane, 102.04, a 780 ET for the Hardy Boys Lane, 88. Danny Harris, how you doing? Tommy, ready? Good. Tell you what, fast things on. Guys come up side by side, and there, I mean, it's first one to the other end takes the wind pro, trade, the light comes on, you hit 82 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 74.38 miles per hour. 826 Lane Howell going to get 29.17. Tom Armstrong out of the Barnett Lane, former Roger LeMaster car. Two of the former Roger LeMaster cars here tonight with you owners. Tom Armstrong, one, he's on the starting line now, blocking home. 664 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 103.44 miles per hour. A 678 for the Barney for the Hardy Boys Lane, 81 miles per hour. Flamin' Sammy in the Harrelson County Gas Automobile Cadillac, 2969. It's Ricky Jones in white yellow. Jones Body Shop, Lake Camaro out of Manchester, Georgia. In the Hardy Boys Lane. For Ricky Jones, 112.78 miles per hour. A 614 for the Barnett Lane, 112.78 miles per hour. $634 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 109.22. 75 for the Barnett Lane, 90 miles per hour. 2645, Bruce Adams going to get 2278. Tony Taylor. Hardy Boys Lane, a 667 for Bruce Adams, well off his pace. 191.10 speed. Second lanes in the main pit area as well. They've got all your favorite Coca-Cola products, and believe me, on a day like today, that sounds good. They got chicken sandwiches, they got hot dogs, and I showed you French fries, and sweet section area, in the main pit area, and the rear of the staging lanes as well. .720 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 95.33 miles per hour. A 683 ET for the bar. Help pay for the hotel bills and gas, so you need to kind of like save his money, especially for the top and point. 637 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 106.3. To an 802 for the Barnett Lane, 84.26 miles per hour. 311, Johnny Hawkins for yesterday's wine. Chevy Dover, 2198, Gary Strainer, stroke promotion, Chevrolet Crown out of the Barnett Lane. .95 for the Barnett Lane. Big block 1, Kevin Scott going to get big block 2. Scott, a 705, 107.14 to an 812 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 85. Milton, Ledford, you need to come to the tower and sign up for Fast 8. Milton, Ledford, you need to come and sign in. The seat is in the tower. Milton, Ledford, you need to come and sign in for Fast 8 before you qualify. Milton, Ledford. When you 599 and 114 point. $25.53 Hamlin is going to get $28.47 Paul Brooks. $7.14 for the Barnett Lane, 98.90 miles per hour. $7.40 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 82.11 miles per hour. $2.30, Johnny LaBouche going to get, no, $2.31, Johnny LaBouche going to get Little John. The $2.30 Luke Slam with the laser. Victor Hudson in the Hardy Boys Lane. We're going to get Mike Smith out of the Barnett Lane. I need my Fast 8 cars to staging lane 7 and 8. Fast 8 Doorslammers. Doorslammers qualifying staging lane 7 and 8. Fast 8 Doorslammers. 564 for the Barnett Lane, 121.95, a 576 for the Ronnie Field. The Barnett Lane. Staging lane 7 and 8 for fast 8 Doorslammers. Staging lane 7 and 8 for fast 8 Doorslammers. The world's fastest 68 Camaro is Ronnie Smith. Pro tree. I love when they do that. Oh, because you know they're fixing to bust the move. Ronnie Smith, the money action. A 525 run for Ronnie, 138.03. Remember, he's got another qualifying run. In a super quick, he picked up $100 just for being ODC. That was a 498, not even a full power run for Milton Ledford last week. He's out of Marietta, Georgia, the Chevrolet Corvette, immaculate machine. He's going to run got excited right there. 564, 86.70 miles per hour. Oscar Lubke, 2222 Hearst Oldsmobile. Former Pro Stock car from Wayman Barnett. $563 for us. Out of Somerville, Georgia. Terry Hill. Return road off. Terry Hill. Return road off. For Jimmy Black, one Brett, 2682 Chevrolet Corvette out of the Barnett lane. 108, 104. Knows what it takes. Billy George, 2172 out of Automotive Technician. Billy, 136.77 mile per hour, and I missed it if even birds than nitrous. Tommy Harris, 234, Jamie Wanda. 531 for Tommy Harris, 132.74 miles per hour. Yeah. Virgin that night, you know them well, they fix bust move. A 504, 144.69 mile per hour run. Here he is, the self-proclaimed king of drag racing, the Ric Flair of drag racing, Ronnie the King Davis. A top sportsman Beretta out of Car Crowd out in Tucker, Georgia. Right, trying to beat a 504 for low EC. Pick up $100 just for being low qualifiers. Yeah, get that time, just a couple of extra times. Come out this afternoon and win a 5-0 run. Only six. About a 495, 144.18 mile per hour. Wind it all up. That's his first round of Fast 8 qualifying. Can't never tell yet. About LL and the other gentleman stepping back. Perfect David Tatum and the Hardy Boys lead. 807 Alan Milton out of the Barnett lane. Need my Paulding County deputies. Come to the tower, please. Paulding County deputies need you to the tower. .653 for the Barnett lane, 662. Randall Ingram's going to get the 451 Dodge pickup out of the Barnett lane. Hardy Boys lane, a 633, 108.17, a 773 for the Barnett lane, 88.75. Hardy Boys lane, a 758, 89.64 to a 769 for the Barnett lane, 88.56 mile Barnett lane. Yeah, 664 for the Hardy Boys lane, 103.68 miles per hour. EG65, Jimmy Noble, the Hardy Boys lane, 29.17 Tom Armstrong out of the Barnett lane. .679 for the Barnett lane, 101.35 and 891 for the Hardy Boys lane, 70 for the Barnett lane. This will wind it up. This will be the last time trial runs because the next time they go down to the track, one will lose and the other will go out. It will be elimination after this round of time trial. Barnett lane, 679, 101.58 to a 753 ET for the Hardy Boys lane, 87.37 miles. .692, 99.77 miles back to a 779 for the Hardy Boys lane, 86.04 miles per hour. 2553, Alan Williams in the Hardy Boys lane. Going against the 353. Victor Hodgson coming out of the Barnett lane. At 740 for the Hardy Boys lane, 92.21 to a 562 for Victor. In dark in the 304 Pete Brunner Roadster out of the Barnett lane. 5:38 for Ken Sharp. 108.95 miles per hour. Okay, round two, fast eight Doorslammers. If you ain't where you can see them, find you a place, because here comes the doctor himself, Ronnie Smith. This is run one for round two. Ronnie first time went a 5:25 and it was not a pass that I felt it was getting the optimal traction and still went a 5:25. A 5:15, 135 points. Does a 5:75, 119.68 mile per hour run. Hamlin, the 2682 car, his first round. A 5. The last run was Smith, a 5:15, and it was not really sure what happened. A lot of smoke on the upper end, and there's only 9 cars. That may put Hamlin in, and Smith did wound his car. Lubke first round with a 5:63 was a 6. So far, everybody's improved. Except Hamlin. .54 for Oscar Lubke, 124.65 miles per hour. run was one he had to let out of. Last week he was 498. He's out of the Barnett Lane. .525, 134.3, 2-mile-per-hour run from Milton. Pontiac Trans Am, pro modified 1133. Yeah. You just do around there. Flat this time, 146.11 miles per hour, and here's the tire speed. There's still one man to beat that 495, and this man right here is the man that can do it. Billy George, last year was running 490. For Billy George, 143.76 miles per hour. Saying this number, 3279, Ronnie David. Yeah, I call him the Ric Flair drag racing. I tell you what, this man went to professional bull shooting school, and I guarantee but he's good, and I guarantee you, he's really come around in top sportsman. This is his first year, and he has won some national events in the top sportsman category, and he'll be competing next weekend. Tommy, down there. Around a beat of 495. He's 40 holes, low ET. 499, 141.50 miles per hour. That 495, his first run will be the low ET. But he's run two back-to-back four. Mike Smith, the number 21 roadster out of Roanoke, Alabama, coming out of the Barnett Lane. Against the Rubke, they go Ralph Martin in the Hardy Boys lane. When that happens, we got all wound up, revved up, ready to go. Hey, duty. Get out of this thing. Ralph Martin in on the 630. Mike Smith in on the 5-3. These motorcycles to the staging lane for their first round motorcycles. Staging lane for your first round motorcycles. To a 632 for Hardy Boys. All about him. Determined to fire in the next round. Slamming Sammy. He'll go to the layout of the Hardy Boys lane. He's been on a 611. He's going to get the 350 dragster. Johnny Miller out of the Barnett lane. Down in on a 581. Lane takes a win. Dead on with the one. Slamming Sammy, a 611 off a 611. 311. Johnny Hawkins, yesterday's line. Very fair Nova. Out in on the 689. He's going to get David Tatum III. 1989. Division 2 River Street champion. And I believe he may be the 1990 Super Street champion as well. He was runner-up last week. He only needed to go 4 rounds, and he runner-up last week, so he's probably the 1990s Division Super Street champion as well. David Tatum goes a 729, 75.50 to a losing 693. Hardy Boys Lane takes a win of 711, 98.46 to a losing 648 for Johnny. Takes the win, 723, 94.33 to a red line, 709 for Jack Gresham. Harold Thompson Jr. going to get 28.47 for Paul Brooks and Ray Dodd. Victor Hodgson in the Hardy Boys lane. Down in on a 560. He's going to get R286. Going against the 1989 Super Road champion, Marty Wiles out of Snap-on 2. Marty in on a 555, Bobby on a 680. 6.05 to a 678 for the Hardy. In on the 669. It's going against Larry Rutledge. Rutledge is in on the 677. Motorcycle. Takes a win of 669 off of 669. Dead on with a 1 for Gary Bradley. 101.58 to a 676. 676 breakout for Larry Rutledge. 101.35. 2645 Bruce Adams going to get 2917 Tom Armstrong. Armstrong in on the 678. Adams in on the 622. Plymouth Arrow gets in the late Nova. Takes a win of 617, 111.66 to losing 678 for the Barnett Lane, 127 Gary Thompson, getting on a 593. Randall Ayers takes a win of 632. 107.91 to a breakout of 592 off a 93 package. 301, Todd Fox, the LTS World at 62 in Fallon on the 679. Wicked James Jenkins, the Blackjack, Chevy Bonds are down in on the 710. Todd Fox, 95, Ricky Wade. Wade in on the 610. Miller in on the 686. The Nova and Hardy Boys Lane 2. Takes a winner, 687, 97.61 to lose the 608 for Rhett in on the 632. And a win for Danny Odom, 107.65 to lose 2088. Steve Dowdy on the 650. 304 Ken Sharpin on the 623. red line. 649 for Steve Dowdy. One for 62. Takes a win of 6 flat, 115.68 for Gary Emmett to the red line, 664 for Darren Atchison in the Hardywood lane. Go to get 2198. Gary String with the Stroke Promotion Chevrolet Camaro coming at you out of the Barnett lane. Hardy Boys Lane takes a win of 690, 100 miles per hour, losing 684 for Barnett, 95.74. Count 683 for Robert Strickland, 96.35 miles an hour. 2629, Ricky Jones, the man Jones finds that Camaro in on a 592. He's going to get CW Sharp in the Williams Body Shop Chevrolet Beretta in on a 600. For CW out behind the wheel. Ken been doing the driving. CW said, let me handle it tonight, son. Takes the win. 594. 114.21 to losing 691 with the rest. 101.58. You're losing 693 brake counts for Tommy Strickland, 100 miles per hour. 2212, Gary Godfrey out of the Barnett lane. Go to get 207, Alan Hilton in the Hardy Boys lane. Godfrey in on the 635. Hilton down in on the 650. $644 to win for Gary Godfrey, 106.63 to a red light, 650 for Alan Hilton, dead on with a red light. In on the 89, it's going to get 40.59. This car is playing double duty. Jimmy Black on Sting Race playing Fast 8 and bracket racing as well. He's out in on a 573. 573, dead on with the one. There's 3 cars going dead on with the one. 120.96 to 792, losing time. Talking about first place in points. The R207 Vega against tied for 10th in points. Dwayne Kemp. And a win for Alan Thomas. 92.78 to 829 losing time. All over with tonight. The Doorslammers, Fast 8 Doorslammers to the staging lanes for your first round pairing, gentlemen. Fast 8 Doorslammers, let's go. breakout for Todd Proctor. For sale, down in on the 686. He's going against Ken Sharp. Sharp in on the 624. Takes the winner, 686, 97.61 to losing 618. Morning, Paul Biddy, Ford Mustang, down in on the 709. He's going again. Victor Hodges, Victor on the 560 coming out of the Barnett lane. And fixing to have my drawing going to be giving away $26. So 52 tickets. Round 3. 559 to win for the Barnett Lane, 124.30 to lose 710 for the Hardy Boys Lane, 99.55 miles per hour. 62 Randall, 339 Gary Spratlin on the 668, Andrew on the 631. Fast 8 Doorslammers, beat Mike Hardy's career to stage mates for your first round parents, Fast 8 Doorslammers. In the win for Gary Spratlin, 101.35 to lose 630 for Randall. For Ricky Jones, 119.36 to a red light, 649 for Jerry Godfrey. Ticket $89.99. We've got $26. Ticket $89.99. Jimmy Black, Stingray Corvette down there on the 572. He's trying to get Jack Bell Jr. jacking on the 701. Ticket $89.99. You've got $26 an hour. Ticket $89.99. Barnett Lane takes the winner. 569. 120.32 to a red light. 7 laps for Jack Bell. 721 in the win for Alan Thomas, 90.18 to a losing 742 for Bertie Coffin, 91.46 miles per hour. Getting off those reflexes at a 510 light, just couldn't run her down. 2031, Milton on the boost, Lubke boost, Lemon Laser, going to get 2472 George Fridge, the quick stick Volkswagen Rail. Look, Johnny on the 799, 725 down the home, George Frizzy. Fast 8 Doorslammers, need through the staging lane, gentlemen. Fast 8 Doorslammers. George Frizzy, 93.75 to lose. I'm ready. We got them all qualified. We got them all set. First pairing, Ronnie Smith. And Uncle Milton. Milton Ledford breaking something on the burnout. 141.06 miles per hour. George, pick up the phone. Oscar Lubke going against Billy George. A 496 for Billy George, 143.76 to a losing 554 for Oscar Lubke, 121.95. We need all you people that are not with these cars back behind the guardrails. Tommy Harris going against the awesome PA. A 502, 143.76 miles per hour for Tommy, 91.46 miles per hour. Qualifier of 495. Billy George went a 496 a while ago, so before the night's out, I believe it's going to be Davis and George. And it's going to be these guys three because number 96 and 95 are right there within 100 of each other. And it's going to be that sets the pace for the final four. A 494, a 496. Hardy Boys Lane takes the win at 10:65, 65.31 to a 9:35 for the Barnett Lane, 73.52 miles per hour. 5278 Johnny Boyd in on a 908. 8244. Jimmy pickup in on 1115. 11:17, 60 miles per hour to losing 9:16, 70.09 miles per hour. Okay, gentlemen, Pro 3, Gordon. .98 for Kevin Scott, 105.38 miles per hour. Couple time on it here, 304 Ken Sharpen to 459. Ford Mustang. For the Barnett Lane, 103.44 at 768. George will run Ronnie Davis. And 11:33, Austin CA will run Ronnie Smith. I need y'all down to the staging lane. ASAP Ronnie Smith, I need you down to the staging lane as soon as possible, gentlemen. Fast 8, final 4. For the Hardy Boys Lane, 102.97 to 616 for the Barnett Lane, 111. 29, Ricky Jones on the 580. He's going to get Mike Smith. Number 21 Road on the 560. My final 4 in the Fast 8 Doorslammers to the staging lanes as soon as possible, gentlemen. Will be Ronnie Davis against Billy George. 563 in the win for Barnett Lane, 121.95 to lose. 2847 Paul Brooks going to get 235 Marty Wild. Priest, I thought you was going home. Come back. Never left. Rondo like this. Takes a win of 7-10, 96.77 to losing 550 for Marty White. $6.59 in the win for Hardy Boys Lane. Gary Travis, 99.33 to losing 6 flat for Gary Emmett, 115.97 miles per hour. Victor Hodges in the Hardy Boys Lane going to get Jimmy Black, the Stingray. Down in on the 569. Hodges in on the 557. Takes the win of 557 off of 557. Then on he goes, 123.62. They're losing 572 for Jimmy. Mike Gordon, pick up the phone. 5 for Big Block Trophy. .732 in the win for Kevin Scott, 98.682, losing 756, 96.56 miles per hour. Going to get 285, Ronnie Smith. Ronnie Smith. There goes the ninth for Virgil Davis. One of these two will go against the final. Flat for Ronnie Davis, 136.35 to losing 536 for Ronnie Smith, 115.68 miles per hour. Billy George and Austin PA Pro Bonafide car. One of these two will go against Ronnie Davis in the final. To 5:37 losing time for the Austin PA. Billy had a 486 live. Went a 499. Billy had the better. Mike Hardy, I need you to the tower as soon as possible, Mike Hardy. .706 for following 100 miles per hour to losing 737. Now he's going to get Victor Hodge and Victor on a 556. 670 in the wind for Moondog, 100.89 miles per hour to a losing 558 for Victor Hudson. One against Alan Thomas, Hamlin on the 720. Hardy Boys Lane takes the win with 765, 88.40 to a losing 724, 93.36 miles per hour. What 94 miles per hour?
620.
So it's going to be Doug Richardson going to get...